Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will talk about the most intriguing and crucial requirement for your application, the proof of funds. Let's go. So first, let's go through on what's really written on the website. So we are here in uead.at website. This is the official website of Austria. In this website, you can find a lot of informations. So now we will discuss about the checklist, particularly for the proof of funds. So in here, you can see the checklist for a residence permit student. So you can just scroll it down here and you will see all the documents that you need to submit for your student residence application. So we will talk about the proof of funds. So you have to prove a proof of sufficient financial means to cover the living costs. So as of 2024, you need to show 1,217.96 per month of money for your financial means. So you have to show at least 1 year. So 1,217.96 times 12 is around 14,700 euro. So your proof of funds should have, so your bank account should have at least 14,600 euro. And it can also be converted into your home country's currency. So in Philippines, more or less, the funds or show money that you need to show upon the application for student residence permit is around more or less 880,000 pesos, or maybe just make it 900,000 pesos. And bear in mind that, as what I've noticed, as the proof of funds, the funds that you have to show, it increased more mostly every year, because during my time, year 2022, the requirement for the show money is only around 700,000 pesos. I showed 700,000 pesos. That's more or less 13,000, almost 13,000 euro, if I'm correct. So now 2024, it increased. It's now 880,000 pesos. So expect that next year, 2025, they might increase the proof of funds again. These are the amount that you have to show if you're applying as a couples, or if your age is under the age of 24 years old. So you have to show 672.64 per month. But actually, this kind of information, I don't trust this much. These students under 24 years of age, it's kind of tricky, because I've heard some students before that they showed this kind of amount, 672.64 euro per month, and that's only around 40,000 euro, and I don't really believe this kind of statement in their website, because I've heard some students during my time before that they were also rejected due to their funds that they showed, even if they're under 24 years old. So that's why most of them, those students applying under 24 years old, they really showed the amount the same with the students as of age of 24 years and above. So yeah, but it could be your decision if you have to show really the exact amount what is showed in the students under 24 years old. So it's up to you, but for me, it's kind of risky. And then for the proof of funds, so you will submit then, of course, to show that you have money in your account, you have to submit a bank certificate that you have those funds. And then you have to prove where that funds coming from. So let's see. Yeah. Upon request of the residence authority, you should be able to prove the origin of the funds. possibly also by means of appropriate evidence. In this case, don't wait that the residence authority will message you to show a proof for the origin of your funds, because this will only make your application longer. So if you already have all the documents needed and you can prove where that funds is coming from, just submit it right away. Don't wait for the residence authority to tell you to submit more documents for the origin of your funds, because it will really make your application longer. It will delay your application. So to prove the origin of the funds, you should declare where the funds come from, either from savings, loans, scholarship, sale of an apartment, house, or inheritance. You have to show bank statement of the last 6 months, and proof of employment of the applicant, confirmation of scholarship, sales contract, or loan agreement, and a bank statement of the account of your parents or other sponsors of the last 6 months if the money comes from them. And also declaration of the parents or the sponsor. This is the sponsorship letter. And a proof of employment of the parents or other sponsors if the money comes from their employed and or self-employed work. In this case, what I can say about this, so on bank statement of the last 6 months, I have to comment on this because this bank statement of the last 6 months, I really didn't follow it during my application. Actually, the money just stayed in my account for like around less than a week, and I submitted the certificate. Because the bank statement, I showed the bank statement of my sponsor. So you can also do that even if the money will stay in your account for like few days or some weeks. What you have to do is to submit a bank statement from your sponsor that they really have this kind of money in their account, and show and support also some pay slips of them if the money came from their salary. So just read and understand all the informations written in this website so that you will be informed what are the necessary documents that you need to submit for your application. I met a lot of students here, obviously, and I also asked them what did they submit for their proof of funds. One colleague, she told me that she was sponsored by her boyfriend. So the bank statement of her boyfriend, I mean, not really boyfriend, he is already a fiancé. So they submitted her fiance's bank statement, but the money was sent into my colleague's bank account, and the bank account is under my colleague's name, but the money was from her fiancé. They also prove where the money of her fiancé got those from. So they submitted her fiancé's work contract, pay slips for 6 months, and they also showed the money transaction for transferring from her fiancé's bank account going to my colleague's bank account. And her fiancé also provided a letter that the money is at my colleague's disposal, that she can use it for her study during her time here in Austria. And yeah, I think that's what they only did. And also the money from my colleague's bank account, it stayed there for like a couple of months. Another colleague of mine, also she told me that she was sponsored by her father. So the same what my colleague did, the father, he transferred the money going to his daughter's bank account, and also, of course, the bank account is under his daughter's name, and they showed the transaction, and they also submitted a proof where her father got those money. They submitted her father's bank statement, payslips, work contract, and her father also submitted a letter that the money is for his daughter's education here in Austria. Another colleague also told me that he was sponsored by his father, but this time the money was not from his father's salary, because his father that time was already retired. So they submitted a bank statement. I mean, because they actually sold property. So they sold a land and put the money into my colleague's bank account under his name, and they submitted the receipt and also the transaction. And his father also made a letter that the money is owned by him, and his son is going to use it for his education here in Austria. They also submitted land title, and yeah, that's it. That's what they submitted for his proof of funds. And lastly, another colleague, she has a different story for her proof of funds, because as some of the students that I used to talk at my dorm, mostly they have the same situation for their proof of funds. But at this time, my colleague, she was from Philippines, and she told me that she got the money for the proof of funds on her own, because it's her savings for many years of working. So she submitted also her pay slips for, I think, yeah, 6 months. And she also submitted a bank statement and bank certificate that she had this kind of amount on her bank account. And she also submitted a work contract and her previous contract from her job, and also some months of pay slips from that. And yeah, that's it. That's all what she did. So as you can see, most of the colleagues that I used to talk, or some students here, they had the proof of funds under their name. And also they submitted a letter from their sponsors that the money is for their own disposal. And they submitted also a proof where the money came from, either from salary, selling a land, or sponsor from their relatives. In submitting for your proof of funds, the money should be in your account, under your name, and you must also prove where that money came from, and you must also submit at least 6 months if it's from salary payslips. And also you need to submit a letter from your sponsor if it's from a sponsor. So yeah, I think that's all I can say about submitting proof of funds here in Austria. I believe that in every country they have different requirements for proving your proof of funds, and that's all what I know for the requirements in proof of funds here in Austria. So I hope this bit of information will really help you in gathering the requirements for your proof of funds, because I know these proof of funds, especially for us in Philippines, it is very crucial step, because of course those aspirants out there who wants to study abroad, mostly we came from into an average family, and not really a family with a very high income, just like me before. So I really had a hard time gathering the documents for my proof of funds, and it was very stressful. And one thing, remember that the approval of your student residence permit here in Austria really relies on the documents for your proof of funds, because you can be accepted in the university, but your proof of funds might be rejected for the magistrates here in Austria. So do good in proving for your proof of funds. And that's it. That's all I can say about proof of funds. See you in my next video.